Ours is a lot more boring.
Well, hey guys, it's Terrell from Big Gold Belt Media. How's your morning going?
It's great.
Yeah,
It's great.
great. How's yours?
Oh, it just keeps getting better. Thinking about Krispy Kreme donuts this morning.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
uh, so we're here for the Scavengers reign, which definitely just caught me out of where. And I just want to make sure I get this right. Benji and James, right?
Yes.
Benji and James, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just give me a little. I guess give me a little. Your roles in on the show, like what you guys did here.
Sure. I was a writer and a co-EP.
Yeah, I'm a supervising director.
So you guys are making sure the wheels were turning,
Exactly.
making sure
Exactly.
their story. I guess my first question here, as writers and your supervisor here, what was the most challenging part of this? I just talked to your heads of the boat here, and they said it was about 15 months during this period. What would you say was like the hardest the part of this entire thing for you guys, just trying to get through this?
Yeah, I would say, well, I don't think, I mean, hard, I would say nothing was like hard and frustrating. It was challenging. I would say that the part that like maybe took the most time and energy is just from my opinion, from a writing perspective, is just cracking just really the story overall. So like we just iterated so much on different episodes, and we had like a general map of the season very quickly in the writer's room. And then when you get into scripting each episode and following our characters, it's just really like making sure every moment seems true, is within character, that the drama is coming out in the right way. We rewrote episodes throughout the entirety of the production. It's one of the benefits of animation that you can, and Benji would, get mad at me for talking about rewrites late in production, but you really can tweak things up until kind of like, a week before you deliver the episode. So like in our schedule, an episode might get 9 months to be made, and you can really be rewriting up until month 8. So the hardest thing, or the most challenging thing, and one of the most fun things, was really just like tweaking and changing it and making it just so it's right up until the very end, would be my answer for that.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so much trust that on the animation side and the storyboard side we had for the writing, and a lot of the writing process. We just wanted everything coming out of the writing to serve the animation, and so the writing changes, the rewrites was all welcome on our part. But the hardest part, I think, was maintaining this like delicate tone we have in the show. It's like a very specific, understated tone throughout the whole thing. And a big part of what Joe and Charles wanted to get out of it was, putting on guardrails so we didn't veer into like exaggeration. We didn't veer into territory that other animated shows have explored with science fiction. Just wanting to present something that just felt very different, and on a textural level, on an emotional level, and a tonal level. And so just working with all the artists and just keeping everybody focused on that one goal. I say that was hard, but it was actually, in the end, the most like gratifying, actually easy part of it, because everybody got on board with it pretty quickly.
Right.
And it was this exponential curve. Everybody, by the end of it, we were humming like this like hive mind of creative people.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know you say you didn't want to hit the typical curves of the shows, but you also can't ignore influences either, right? I mean, like
absolutely.
You guys, your Alien, your Lost in Space, your Battlestar Galactica.
Sure.
What was kind of like, not without exactly cloning it or whatever, because it's clearly like an original thing as far as, from the animation to the unique whatever, like everything of the planet. But what was something that you have on your board that was like almost like not directly, but like stuff that you did use as that the audience would get as references?
Oh yeah, so many things. I mean, it starts with, say, like Magnetic Rose and Perfect Blue and some of these touchstone animation projects, and then we talked a lot about a lot of live action films. Like 28 Days Later was discussed a lot. Jurassic Park, the films of William Friedkin in general, but specifically the film Sorcerer, Robert Altman films, the film Solaris, just so many. I mean, I think we're all such like TV and movie geeks that,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we hang out in the office, in our office in Pasadena, and all day we just talk about movies and TV. I mean, it sounds so dorky, but it truly is what like we're passionate about. So like, I think we would get excited and just talk about so many different things, and that finds its way, like the tendrils into, you know, the DNA of the show. But hopefully it's you know, got enough originality, and the pieces and references are mixed in enough to create a unique, you know, pastiche.
Yeah, and I think just from an animation perspective, all of the whole crew of international animators we're working with, I think share a similar DNA of things that have inspired them that are a little bit like Inside Baseball, like Robot Carnival and Magnetic Rose and like the Neo Tokyo, like those compendiums, those anthologies that I think we're exploring animation, science fiction, animation in an interesting way. But they're not like the most obvious touchstones.
Right.
That hopefully that it's like we're channeling something that a process, a way of looking at the world, a way of looking at futurism that I don't know, it's the stuff that built up all of our careers, just what we all love to looking at, and I think being able to like add to that pantheon of great science fiction animation is a real joy.
Now, like I said, something that I didn't notice, and something I'm starting to see a lot more frequent of, is that studios are kind of contracting work outside of the United States. Like, you know, you'll be able to go to Japan, get an animator there, or, you know, Paris, whatever. What I mean, obviously you guys wanted to, you know, you can't do everything, you know what I mean? Everybody can't do everything on their own. Like, was there any anybody outside of the normal American animation that you guys were able to like be able to utilize for this project? Anybody that worked in like anime or anything like that? Or
definitely, I mean, a lot of the team that we put together is a group of friends basically that we've been working with for the last 10 years. The directors and the animators on our side were, you know, pretty new to TV. There's a lot of short films, independent animation online. A big part of the team I had put together already for a Love, Death, and Robots short at Titmouse. And so we all worked together really closely on that, and being able to transfer a lot of the skills we built up for Scavengers. But a big international crew from all over the world: India, Portugal, Peru. We at one point we put together like on Google Hangout, people hit the flag where they're from, and it was just this like huge collection of artists from around the world.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and Korea, a big team in Korea that we worked with, amazing animators. But yeah, I think the benefit of being able to do this on a remote basis with such a big international crew is that you get to pull from the best animators in the world, and all of us are, you realize, just sharing the same references, love the same things about animation, have the same way of talking about animation, no matter where we're from. And it just, I don't know, it's such an amazing stew. And we're continuing to work with the same people on our next shows.
Definitely one of the things that I've started to see a lot more of is especially with like animated movies like Disney and stuff like that. They'll do like these after the movie is over thing, like the behind the scenes of like how it's done, how the magic's made type thing. I don't know if you guys had any time to film any of that, like, hey, we're writing this right now, or this is XYZ. I'm always a fan of like the behind the scenes. I don't know if you guys have any like that bonus stuff planned or anything like that for maybe a future DVD, a Blu-ray release or something like that, like of how you guys worked on the show and what was put into it. Because it seems like it was a lot of labor of love here, just to have, you know, international help, people around the world. It seems like something that I think would really work well as like a behind the scenes, like little doc or something. If you
I would love that. I mean,
yeah.
Were there any goofy videos of you in the writer's room?
None that are shareable. We should have. It's something we did think about at the very beginning. I remember talking about it with the rest of the gang, and we just didn't for some reason. But something we've been doing is we've created kind of like just a look into the process of like how something goes from script to screen. So you know, we have a couple of panels coming up, and we're going to be showing kind of like, okay, this is what went into the writing. Here's like a couple pages of script. Here's how that trickled down to our design team and our storyboard team and our directors and Benjy, and you know, then through the editor, and then through the animators and into post and the composer getting it, and kind of showing how, at least on Scavengers Reign, how our process worked. So that's something like hopefully we can get into good enough shape to share wide, and maybe we'll be seeing that soon.
And I just like any other animator, I love pencil tests, rough animation, seeing how it was actually made by hand,
Right.
on a digital tablet. But in our office, we have these pencil drawings from Akira, and it's just like that, seeing how something is made makes you appreciate it so much more, especially if it was done as such a labor of love by hand. And we have tons and tons of rough animation, concept art. You could make, you know, a whole collection of books of the material that we put together for the show, and I hope it gets to see the light of day.
Any plans as far as like outside of, I mean, I guess this is planned as like a serious, like a you know, multi-season thing, but any plans like going forward, like maybe a comic or something like that, just kind of expand on some stuff that maybe we didn't see, or anything outside of that?
I'd say definitely, if the audience is asking for it, we can definitely come up with some ideas for that. We would love it.
I really want to do a video game.
Video game would be amazing. And I know a lot of the artists are just like in love with the character. The artists who worked on the show are in love with the characters and amazing storytellers. And if they were given free reign, you know, one of our best animators given a little story that James writes for like a side comic, I think that would be amazing.
Talk about that merch though. Where the shirts? Where's the toys?
We've
been pushing for that. It's TBD when the merch will.
If Todd McFarlane's watching, we'll hook up with him.
I just saw him last week too at Toy Fest.
Did you? Yeah.
I know he's at Comic-Con this week, so I'm gonna have to say something.
Yeah, if you see him, mention Scavengers.
Well, look, guys, I really appreciate you doing this interview with me today. This was always a pleasure. I always like to get more insight into how things are made, how these shows work. You guys did an amazing job. Thank you so much for doing it with me today.
Amazing. Thank you. Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you, Terrell.
Yeah.